Thank you for listening to Remake Rewind, podcast where we decide if remakes or reboots should have happened. I'm Mike, as always, and I am sick and sound like shit. So, I'm going to introduce these two ding-dongs who are going to carry this episode. I'm probably just going to record a little bit and then, drop out early and let these two ding-dongs discuss our topic, which is, first off, the two ding-dongs, Double D.
Yo.
What's up, Double
D?
That's
me. DD.
And second ding-dong, Alex. What's up, Alex?
Oh, a ding-dong. Hello.
You guys like ding-dongs? The hostess ding-dong? Are they hostess? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yes, they're
like
hostess.
They're good.
Yeah, they're all right.
Yeah.
They're not really different than the cupcake. They're just presented differently.
It's chocolate covered.
They're pretty much the same thing. It's just like the cupcake made like a Cinnabon. Kind of.
Ding-dongs.
No, because it's not supposed to. Anyway, we're here to talk about a very special franchise. The third Halloween special this year. It's a classic Swedish horror film, and it was remade in America 2 years later. What are we talking about, guys?
Let the Right One In from 2008 and Let Me In from 2010.
Yep. Have you guys seen these before?
Nope.
Yeah.
Neither of them?
Neither of them.
Huh.
I'm guessing you have.
Yeah, I've seen them both. I liked them both very much. It was nice to go back and watch them again, and I'm assuming Alex has seen both of them. I heard him going, yeah.
I'm pretty sure Alex is the one that suggested these.
I mean, they've been on the list since year one of the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Like,
but
they've
Alex
been on
is
my
the one
list.
that suggest them this time.
Yeah. I don't think he is. I think I'm the one who did. And I think he just went, yeah.
All right,
when
guys,
I
the credit
suggested
goes
it.
to Alex on this one.
It's fine. I don't care. I don't feel that strongly about it. But I really just want to talk about a couple of things, and then, I guess I want to give you guys a couple of things that I want you guys to talk about. And I'm going to let you do your thing, and I'm just going to bow out, and I'm going to edit this and see what you guys say. But one of the facts that I kind of want to give you guys going into this is the original one was written and directed by the guy who actually wrote the book that the movie is based off of. And in the in the book, Hakan, who's kind of like the father figure, he was actually a pedophile who couldn't get an apartment or anything like that. So he was an employee of Eli or Ellie, who basically just stuck with the vampire child to have money and shelter. In the book, Ellie is actually Elias, who was a boy who at the same time he was converted to being a vampire, had his genitals mutilated and decided to present as a girl after that. So just so you know, I don't know if you guys knew that. Did you know that?
No,
Yeah, it's the
I kind
same
of
in the
assumed.
movie, actually.
I don't think they actually say that. He
They
does say
don't.
that
But they show
she's
it.
Not, yeah.
Wait, do they?
They
Yeah,
show her mutilated genitals.
Mutilate, and she
I don't-
constantly says, I'm not a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing the genitals.
Yeah, it's when
Exactly.
she
when
when
she's
she
changing.
changed into that mom's dress. He like peeked in the door and just looked at her crotch.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Because all the stuff that I read on this says that it's implied, but it's never explicitly said, and it's open for interpretation.
Yeah,
on
it's never
purpose for the director.
explicitly said, but you kind of get it when you see that. And then she's saying it all the time, like Alex said. She's saying that I'm not a girl. Or
I
what
see.
if I
What
wasn't
I,
a girl?
what I always took that was like,
I'm a vampire.
That she's a vampire.
I'm a
Yeah, which is
vampire.
great. It has like double meaning.
you're right. I must have missed the genital mutilation scene.
Shit, I was sensitive that you would say.
But
Yeah, must
yeah,
have missed
the, I'm good. But Hakan is a pedophile in the book, and in the book, he actually, when she goes to like eat him, or not eat him, but like drain his blood at the hospital, so he can't be linked to her. He doesn't actually die in the book, and he becomes a vampire and kind of just goes on a rampage.
What the fuck?
But one of the things in the book is he not only wants shelter, but he's hoping that one.
Probably would have enjoyed it more, just because it was like a brain teaser. Like what's going on. Gross.
But, yeah, so really weird. In the tangentially in the remake, Thomas, the father figure, he actually met the girl as a child and basically stuck around with her for 40 plus years, which I think is a completely different version, and I think it's really interesting. So I'd love for you guys to talk about that, and I would love for you guys to talk about how creepy the boys are, Owen and Oscar.
Yep.
And how they differ, because they're both creepy in their own way.
They're both serial killers.
Well, Owen will be.
Oscar will be.
Yeah,
Oscar will be too. They both will become
already.
killers. Yeah.
Owen is. I feel is a little different though.
That one's fucking
Right. So Oscar, they straight up say, he's like, I'm not a killer. And then Ellie says, what you want to be. Oscar, or no, that is Oscar.
Yeah.
Owen is a little bit different. Like, he never explicitly says he wants to kill anybody. And it's a little bit different.
It's different.
There's stuff with like news clippings and stuff with one of them. I'm going to let you guys discuss it. I want you guys to do your thing. I feel like I'm dying, so I'm going to bow out at this point. I'm going to edit it. And I'm going to probably, if my voice gets better before this goes up, I'll probably tack on my feelings at the end of the episode. But we'll see.
Yeah, everybody's going to exit the podcast at that time.
Yep.
Anyway, I've got a summary
luck,
for us
guys.
for Let the Right One in, if you want to listen in, Mike, before you leave.
Okay. No. I'm just going to say goodbye.
okay.
Good luck, guys.
All right. Bye,
Love
Mike.
you guys.
I love you. Bye.
Bye, Mike. Is he
All right,
gone?
so I hope so. Let the Right One In from 2008. I think you wanted me to do this one, right? So I'll go ahead. Oscar, a bullied 12-year-old, dreams of revenge. He falls in love with Ellie, a peculiar girl. She can't stand the sun or food, and to come into a room, she needs to be invited. Ellie gives Oscar the strength to hit back, but when he realizes that Ellie needs to drink other people's blood to live, he's faced with a choice. How much can love forgive? Set in the Stockholm suburb of Blackenberg in 1982. From John Nordling.
Thank you, John.
I guess he's a producer. Interesting.
Producer
Anyway,
John.
yeah, Mike talked a lot about the movie. I guess we're done.
Oh, good episode. All right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have some ties to this movie. You said you saw it already, and this, like I said, you're the one that suggested this. What made you want to watch these?
I actually do like the first one quite a lot. I actually wrote a script that's kind of inspired by it, and yeah. So like this movie holds a very like I do like it quite a lot. And then the remake came out, and I was like, oh yeah, I at the time I thought I liked it.
At the time, did you read the book it's based on?
I did not.
So,
no.
based on what Mike said, it sounds like a much more interesting book than movie. I feel like it could have been done better, because I feel like this movie was just fucking awkward as fuck. Like, I don't know, the whole movie. I guess it's supposed to be a drama, a horror, and a romance, right? But
yeah,
I feel like it's only a horror because people want to kill people and that there's a vampire. But
it's definitely more like it's like a coming of age story with vampires in it.
Yeah, it's much like Twilight.
Exactly.
But no, I mean, I did not have a scene in this movie where I was in horror. Like, I was not afraid at all during this movie, which is what I am looking forward to during a horror movie.
It's no, there's good sequence though. Like, I thought the pool scene was really good.
That was definitely the best scene in the movie.
Like the way the movie is filmed is really gorgeous. Like, there's a lot of like long shots, like wide shots.
Yeah.
So like when he's like murdering people is really, it's not close. Like a lot of times you would be like really close up. It was like stabbing things, but it's just like we're sitting from afar. It's like as if we're watching, like we're outside standing and watching this guy do it. It's weird.
It's weird.
It's
and
unsettling.
awkward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unsettling is a good word for this. I mean, I definitely was never comfortable watching this movie. Much like the Joker that just came out, right? That was a very unsettling movie. It was very like awkward the whole time, but I feel like it was a different kind of tense, but definitely something you're tense in the whole movie just because you're like, what the fuck is going on? Right? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. And yeah, like Mike wanted us to talk about, Oscar in this one is fucking crazy. Like,
he is like a snot-nosed brat that there's no characters for you to really
relate
for.
with.
I feel
yeah, no, like we talked about the last movie. Like, there's no clear villain or like clear protagonist in this. Just like was the Crazies, right? In the original.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know who I want to live in this. Like, obviously not the bullies. The bullies were just pieces of shit. But like, Oscar, I didn't feel like deserved to live either. Like,
no, Oscar has like fucking news clippings of like serial killers, and I'm like, this fucking fool is gonna become a serial killer.
Oh yeah, definitely. Did you like? I just want to talk about that scene again. It's obviously the end of the movie, the pool scene when he's like drowning him. But like, have you ever like been close to drowning at all?
Actually, yes.
Like when you come up out of the water, you're gasping for breath. But this kid, he comes up calmly, and like just looks around. Like, what the fuck? You've been underwater for almost 2 minutes. You've lost breath almost a minute ago, and you come up calmly. How is that a thing? Is it just poor acting, or is that something they did on purpose?
I feel like it's done on purpose because like the whole sequence is filmed very quiet, like.
Yeah.
Because like, well, they address that in the remake, but it changes I feel it changes that scene. Because like he comes out, but he's calm because like all he sees is Ellie, and like we see Ellie's eyes just staring at him. And it's just like a very tranquil scene.
Okay, I understand it from that point, but like physically,
if you're
yes. Drowning, there's no way you come up out of the water just like eyes closed, not gasping for air. Like,
if I remember correctly, I remember like coming out and my lifeguard was like, "Damn, you really struggled there." I was like,
"Thanks, lifeguard. You did a great job." I guess we should work up to that part in the movie, right? That is the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So this movie starts off with Oscar, right? He gets bullied pretty much. Which these kids are just complete dicks to him for no reason.
That Connie kid, though, I think he's a great bully because I feel like he enjoyed those scenes.
Oh, he definitely had a genuine smile on his face that whole time.
He's just so smug.
The part where he gets hit in the face by a stick, I felt like that was terrible acting. Like, he just fell to the knees and just started screaming. Like, I don't think that's how you react when you get hit by something, but it sounded just like the kids that found the dead body.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's 2 dead bodies.
They actually just reused the scream.
But yeah, so he has a knife and he's reminiscing over the bullying, and he's stabbing a tree. Oscar, we're talking about here. Oscar's stabbing a tree, pretending that this tree is Connie, who's the bully in this movie, and Ellie, or whatever you want to call her, the vampire chick, just starts talking to him and tells him we can't be friends. What the fuck? No one said anything about being friends.
That's what he said.
You're just creeping up on me in the middle of the night while I'm stabbing a tree, and you ask what I'm doing while I'm stabbing a tree, and you tell me we can't be friends.
He's like, "What makes you think I want to be your friend?" or something like that.
All right, that's how that went down, and then they fell in love.
It's
weird. Yeah, this whole movie is weird, I feel. I mean, I understand it is beautifully shot and beautifully done, right? It's a great story, but I feel like to put it in a horror genre is not correct.
I think that's what may have ruined it for you, because when I watched this movie, I didn't know it was about vampires. I didn't know anything about it, to be honest. So like coming into it, I was like, oh, cool. I think the dad's a serial killer. I also thought it was the dad. I was like, oh, the dad's a serial killer, and it's just like a coming of age story. That's weird. And I'm like, oh no, it's not. She's oh, what? She's a vampire? What the fuck?
Whoa. Yeah, I feel like you're right. If I hadn't known anything about the movie going into the movie, I probably would have enjoyed it more, just because it was like a brain teaser, like what's going on. But
yeah.
Can we just talk about the dad and how bad of a serial killer is?
He's not. I felt the remake dad or remake guy is more horrible. This one, he's just like he's trying to do his best, but he just has bad fucking luck.
Yeah. Well, he's got bad awareness too. Like, he's just killing this guy. You can see cars going by in the background, and like you're no more than like 300 feet away from a highway. There's no way you're not gonna get noticed. And why is it so bright? Why is it so bright where he's killing this guy?
That's just Sweden.
And then he didn't notice the fucking dog that comes up to him, like just sitting next to him.
Well, you didn't notice that they were calling out for the dog, and he's just like, shoot,
shoot, dog, I'm murdering.
And then he actually had a perfect time to just grab the blood and like do something.
Run, yeah.
But
he had a ton of time. He freaked out, and he jetted out of there. But I feel like maybe he was just too entranced in what was going on and making sure he did it right so that he could get all the blood.
No, he's the Danny Glover of serial killers. He's just like getting too old for this shit.
I mean, just to start off with, it looked like he had acid on his face. Like his face was fucked up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So is this basically the original Oscar? Is that what it is? That guy was.
that's
in love
what
with
that's
Ellie.
actually what I guess Mike wanted to mention was that in the book he's a pedophile, but this one in the movie you definitely don't get that at all.
No, there's
like
no pedophile.
like it could have been
Her dad, his dad, whatever.
or like Oscar, like the Oscar of
An
that
original.
time. Yeah.
Love. I don't know. Could you fall in love with a vampire?
No.
No, I think I'd be freaked out too much. I'm afraid of you.
That's another thing. Like if she actually, I felt like if she actually did love him, she would have turned him into a vampire.
Yeah, I mean, at least giving him the option. They didn't even talk about it once.
Yeah. So like
why wouldn't you just have another vampire to be with you?
he's just due. He's just doomed to be the next Hakan,
Yeah.
essentially.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you have? I mean, I guess it's like, I don't know, just like a
that's
fence, right? But
One thing that I like though is that this one she doesn't seem to enjoy killing. So
yeah,
there's
she's like, oh, do I have to do it myself?
there's like a sequence where she kills that drunk guy. I forgot his name. I think they all
Jock.
sound the same. Jokey. After he was having his drinking friend Lockie, he like goes in and sees her crying. He like helps her, and she just like bites the shit out of him and breaks his neck so he doesn't turn into a vampire. But then there's like a moment of like quietness where she like just hunches over and like it kind of sounds like she's crying for a little bit. And then you cut to like her being scolded too. So like I feel like she also says like she kills because she needs to kill.
Yeah. They kind of talked about it because when Oscar, they're talking about it with Oscar, and Oscar wants to kill out of vengeance. And
Like he's just
because he calls her a murderer, right? And,
yeah.
she's saying that she has to do it because that's the only way for her to live.
Yeah.
You know, I assume that she would prefer not to murder people, but
Like she
she's
can't even
vampire.
eat regular food. Like she just pukes it up.
vomits. It was just
that's-
a chocolate, right?
Yeah, it's just she's a dog, so it makes sense.
I thought, wait, so she's a werewolf and a vampire? Oh, man, that changes this.
That's
is
one
Twilight.
thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I like is that that stupid vampire trope where you like, oh, I have to be invited in or I can't get. Yeah. But I like that they actually like no, like if they don't get invited in, like they get fucked up.
Oh, dude, that was gnarly. But yeah, I mean, I think I talked with you a little bit about it earlier, and I wanted to bring that up again, dude. Fucking Oscar turned into a dick real quick as when he found out that she was a vampire. Like, oh, what happens if I don't invite you in, bitch? Like, come on, I don't.
I mean,
Like a dog. Like,
yeah, but it's like you can't like it's ridiculous though. Like if someone's like, if a vampire walked up to you and it's like, bro, you got to invite me in. I can't. You'd be like, that's stupid. Like just come in.
no, I mean, I'd just say, like, if my best friend's a vampire, I wouldn't fucking make him blow up at the edges. Like, yeah,
but he didn't know that.
Let's play video games.
As soon as he like saw that, he was like, "Oh shit, you can come in."
Yeah, come in. But she's already in, so it's not really inviting her in anymore. I don't know. It's allowing her in.
Shit, she's
I don't
dead.
know. She should die. That's what I thought. But like, I don't really understand. I don't know. I guess there's not really a science to vampires. Like, where's the blood coming from? Like, is she just creating seams and bleeding everywhere? Because she was bleeding out like out of her scalp.
Yeah, I think it's
That was
like
weird.
every pore. I don't know.
Weird.
Orifice.
And like, I don't know. That was just weird. And yeah, he was a dick, fucking Oscar.
Oh yeah, Oscar is definitely not likable.
No, not at all. And did you
Like,
notice
even-
like every scene he was swimming, for some reason he just kept putting water in his mouth. I
Dude,
found that really annoying.
I missed that. He
Weird.
like even smiles when he like fucks up Connie's ear. He's like smiling.
Well,
Like,
I think that was maybe it's because he's fucking deranged, but I thought it was more because he defended himself and he was proud of it.
I thought it was because like the kid was wailing. He's like, yeah,
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, I'm a murderer. This is what he was built for. I wanted them to expand more upon the family life. I felt like they focused a lot on Oscar being alone, which I feel like made the movie more awkward, which I guess is what they're going for, right? But I just wanted to know why he's so fucked up.
Well, that's the interesting thing though. Like his parents are all, they seem pretty cool. Like his mom is all cool and like worried about him and stuff.
Yeah,
And he has a good time with his dad until like what was up with his dad's friend though?
I don't know. Maybe he was gay.
That's what I thought. Like his dad is
that was
gay.
my first. I was, his dad's gay.
His dad's gay,
That's
and he
always
doesn't
fucked
like
up.
his gay's dad. Gay dad.
Gay dad?
Yeah.
No. Gay dad? No. I don't want a gay dad. I want to love a vampire who's actually a boy. Am I gay?
that's what I thought. I was like, oh, so he turns out to be gay. So,
But he doesn't know he's gay because he thinks it's a
poetic.
girl.
I
It's
guess.
actually a vampire.
You think? I figured he would have put the two together. He's like,
Maybe I am. It's not wrong. So when this movie was made in 2008 and it was set in 1983, right? Or 82, something like that.
something like that. Yeah.
Is there a reason for that? Like, why wouldn't they make it
There.
today? I mean, I guess it'd be harder to be a vampire today. But,
The cameras everywhere.
yeah. Oh man, I really wanted them to do like a no reflection scene,
No. Yeah.
just like classic vampire stuff.
Like
you know?
Vampire's Kiss with Nick Cage. Where he's
Also,
just-
they didn't show her fly at all, right? They just
They didn't show her, but they just hinted
made the
it.
noises.
Yeah. Oh, that was a cool scene when she climbs up the hospital wall.
Yeah. When
That-
she
the-
goes
the-
outside and then the nurse
yeah,
comes
the
out.
nurse comes out, and you're like, what? You don't see her, and all of a sudden she starts moving up. And you're like, what the fuck? It's a spider.
It's a spider. It's a spider boy girl.
Spider boy girl.
But she did. Well, I don't know what the actor was, I guess, but I felt like they were a good actor.
they're good. They're good.
Actress? Was it a girl?
It was a girl.
It is a
It
girl.
was- Yeah.
Yeah, it's a girl.
That's how
Like,
good of an
you know,
actor she
younger.
was.
And then there was a scene where he tries to do that pact, right? Where he like
Oh,
cuts his
yeah.
hand open and like lets it bleed out and wants to like cut her hand so they can share their AIDS or whatever. And like,
Yeah.
sorry guys, got fucked up here. I had a bad day. Okay. But no, but like she's like sucking the blood, and then she looks up at him, and there's a scene where he's like, where the vampire is like an old person for a second, right? Did you notice that?
No, I think I missed that.
Oh yeah, well, like it's like she changed forms. It was like an adult, like when he was looking when she said go away, and then they changed back to Oscar, and then they went back to the vampire, and she was back in her child form, and like I really wanted more of that. Like oh shit, like oh god, that's gross. Like I wanted more because they did it in the new one as well,
the
just for like a short,
transformations. Yeah.
yeah. But I wanted more of that.
I like
wanted
the
more
effects
scary
more in this one though. They're because they're a lot more practical effects.
Like what?
Except for the cats. The cats was just a horrible
Dude,
effect.
what the hell? Why did- for one, why did that guy have so many cats?
Well, he's
And-
lonely.
Well, yeah, I guess he lost one of his friends. He just got cats to replace him.
You're jockey 1, you're jockey 2.
And I get like cats are supposed to like not like other evil things because cats are evil, but like
Makes sense.
why would they all attack her at the same time?
They work as a litter. I don't know.
You're threatening my food source.
I just like that they're like, fuck this bitch up. Let's
And then
talk
for
at her.
some reason they put her in a mental asylum after the cats attack her. Like, they have her tied down to a bed after the cats attack her. Like she didn't do anything. The cats attacked her.
I don't know, man. If cats attack like, I don't know. You gotta side with the cats, right? Because they're like, something's wrong with this bitch.
I mean, no. Cats just knock shit off tables for no reason. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't side with a cat for anything.
That was a cool scene though, where she was like, "Can you open up the blinds?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure."
Fucking lit on fire. Yeah, that was a cool scene, and I like that they prefaced it by saying like she was talking to her man Lack or whatever,
Lucky.
and she was saying like I don't want to live anymore, and then like the nurse comes over, blah blah blah, the fucking open the blinds, and she just bursts into flames.
Yeah, which
that
was
was-
intense. Like that was
That
like
was intense.
that was
I
it.
thought she was
felt
just gonna like ash away, like crumple
Oh.
into ashes, but
like
no,
Blade
he
or something.
fucking- yeah, exactly. But like, nope, fucking
No.
flames.
Fucking Human Torch over here. Flame on.
I do. Yeah, well, I guess we'll talk about that scene in the new one as well. But any other highlights for you in this movie?
Nah, I think we hit them all.
Yeah, I didn't think I would have that much to talk about in this movie. Actually, I guess it was talking about the movie more actually makes me like it more. But just watching it, I was fucking weirded out.
I think that's it's like that's a feeling that you don't get too much, right? With movies, I don't know. It's a unique experience where you can say that movie was weird and it freaked me out a little bit. It's very.
I don't know that
unsettling.
it freaked me out is the right choice of terms, but like it's just weird. Like, I feel like I didn't gain anything from that movie, and I was just like, why did this happen? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I got nothing else for this movie. Yeah, Oscar's crazy. Those kids, I mean, those bullies were fucked up, but I don't think they deserve that death.
Oh, you can't like the brother though. That he
yeah, he was a piece of shit. He was wow, man. I kind of wanted him to try to start to poke his eye out.
Because you really don't like Oscar.
Yeah. Well, no, like just start it and then she saves him. You know. Like,
I still think that pool scene is way better than the remake. Like
they're both good. I like the both of them.
Oh, it's just. I guess we can get into it when we go to the.
I liked both, and then I preferred the way that in this one the vampire jumps on the chick she turns into another vampire.
Yeah.
And then she just gets kicked off and run away.
Yeah.
I preferred that rather than how the new one went down, which we'll also talk about, I assume. Yeah, okay, so let's go for the new one. Let Me In from 2010, the American remake. Basically, the same movie shot in English with kind of different, like the same theme, but they added fucking dramatic music to it.
Yeah.
You got a synopsis?
I do. This one's by Ivo. Boy meets girl. Boy gets bullied at school. Boy has morbid interest in revenge. Boy falls in love with girl. Girl falls in love with boy and helps him to defend himself from the bullies. Boy discovers girl only comes out at night and not at day. Boy discovers girl is a vampire. Yeah, the classic boy meets girl story, but turned upside down. That's my Ivo.
This is fucking great. I want to read every synopsis like that. Just fucking boy meets girl. Boy bullied at school. Boy, not vampire. Girl, vampire.
I read this. I was like, yes, I gotta do this.
That was great. That was fucking awesome. Thank you, Ivo. Please do more. Please do more of this. Oh fuck! I can't even talk about the movie anymore. That beats the entire podcast.
All right. Have fun editing this, Mike.
Shut it down, Mike. We quit. We're done. We're gonna go work with Ivo. I guess we should probably talk about the movie. Yeah. So Let Me In 2010. I gave you the breakdown already. Basically, same movie in English, different theme, more music.
It's
Chloe Grace Moretz, like Mike said, is Abby instead of Ellie in this one. I think she's clearly a girl in this movie.
Yeah. No hinting.
Owen is the child who is playing Oscar, which we find out real quick that this kid is fucking weird. I think that's before he even gets bullied, right? Or did this one start with bullied also?
Yeah, it also start with him being bullied.
Oh yeah, in the locker room.
Yeah.
And then fucking... Can you talk about this fucking weird telescope scene?
Oh, I don't know. He's just spying on all his neighbors.
But what's with the mask?
That's a serial killer mask.
He's wearing like a weird skin Frankenstein mask. I don't.
It's like clear. It looks like it's just weird. Like a plastic surgeon would
and he's
put
like dancing in his underwear, spying on his neighbors,
holding a pistol, and he's saying like, "Oh, I'm a great." Oh wait, no, it's a different movie. That's Joker.
Oh,
It's yeah. I don't know. Why did this movie start with a flash forward though?
3 weeks before. Yeah, that made no sense.
Like I was like, okay.
I think it just wanted you to get your attention caught by a fucking weird vampire. I guess you could kind of think he's the vampire right off the bat, right? Because you have the fuck, I should be a zombie somewhere. But yeah, you just have him fucking in the back of an ambulance, and I feel like you think he's a zombie, right? Or like some sort of horrific creature. But it actually turns out to be the Henrik or whatever the fuck his name was of this movie, the fake dad, the father, Richard Jenkins. And then you get the the 3 weeks back and it explains the story.
Yeah,
But I guess it's just supposed to be an attention grabber in the beginning.
but that's I don't know. It was definitely not needed. It's
No, no, it was not because they just did it again later.
It wasn't like Memento or anything where like you see it again, you're like,
Oh, that's how it happened.
It's just more like, okay, I already saw this.
Yep,
So
that's what happened.
all right.
I didn't. 3 weeks ago in New Mexico, 1983. Yeah, so Owen in this movie, fucking weird little kid spying on people, eating his now and laters in the snow with his separated parents, religious mom. There's no way to know if the dad's gay in this one. I don't think he is. I think he's just fed up with his mom. Chloe Grace Moretz is a vampire. Exact same movie.
Whispers.
There was that one weird voice change after the father failed to get the blood.
Yeah.
I wanted more of that. I did have a question as to like when she vampires out and like drinks people's blood like off of them. Why does she like flip out and jump everywhere?
it's I don't know. It's definitely more violent, and she's just like tossing them around. It's like she's like riding them like a bull.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. Like, but she's like pushing off walls and like turning for no reason and like I don't know, just weird movements. I thought that was unnecessary. I guess would be the word. A little extravagant.
I also felt like she didn't need to have a caretaker because like she's fucking strong as fuck.
Yep, and she's super quick.
Yeah.
What else? What else did we say we were gonna go over? Because we basically went over the same movie. Owen in this one also has the bullies. The bully in this one, his name is Kenny, right? Is it Kenny?
Yeah, Kenny.
Played by Dylan Minnette, who I think he's known for like the Percy Jackson movies. I actually really like this kid as an actor.
Really?
And thank God Mike is not here because I know he would give me such a hard time about liking this kid. He doesn't. I don't know. Whatever. I'll leave it at that. I don't need to defend myself, Mike.
He's cutting this part out, actually.
Hey, it's Mike. Just a quick editor's note. Double D is mistaking this guy for Logan Lerman, who's from the Percy Jackson movies. This guy's actually from 13 Reasons Why. He was in the Goosebumps movie and a couple other things, but definitely not the Percy Jackson guy. Definitely not. He's talking about Logan Lerman, who is also awful. I had no problem with this guy. He's pretty nondescript and barely in the movie. So, fuck you, Double D. Back to the show.
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
I think talking about Oscar and Owen is actually interesting because I feel like Owen is not as serial killer-y as Oscar.
I mean, you definitely don't get the serial killer vibe throughout the movie, right? Like you did with Oscar. But I feel like that mask, just to fucking start off and set the tone, this kid's gonna be fucking nuts. Like,
but he's more humanized because, like, and this is why I'm saying this is because during the scenes where Chloe Grace Moretz is just eating people, he's freaking out. Like when she's eating the cop, he's like, "No."
But then you think he's going to like grab his hand, the cop's hand, and he just fucking shuts the door. I'm done watching this.
When he hits the kid with the metal pole, he looks also distraught. Like he doesn't smile like fucking Oscar, creepy as Oscar.
That's true. But I don't know. That's I feel like this kid has the serial killer makings. I feel like he just has to be steeled to the serial killing. Steeled.
I feel like it's reversed. It's like Chloe Grace Moretz is the serial killer, and he's just like along because like she's doing it, so he'll do it.
Yeah, she was a really good murderer.
She's fucking
definitely didn't need the father in this one. I wanted them to go over in this movie more about the stealing the riches stuff. I actually kind of liked that in the original one, where they had that like weird egg thing.
Yeah, with the gold.
That was cool. I wanted more of that, like weird, fucking expensive relics and stuff because she's old and vampire-y.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they could have added more vampiric elements to this.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like this one was trying to be more horror.
Which
than the
it failed
original.
at. I mean, like I said, they added a fucking musical score to it, which had those crescendos and loud jump scare moments, but they weren't scary.
No.
Definitely not a horror movie.
The sequence I did want to talk about that I thought was really good is the car sequence. It's like a long take, and it's the guy,
The two high schoolers.
the dad from the Step Brothers is
Yes, the father.
He's trying to
Richard
drive
Jenkins.
away, but then yes, Richard Chickens. He's trying to drive away, and then the window is smeared by a Slurpee, I think.
Yeah.
And he's
Which
backing
he could have
away,
easily just wiped away.
wiped away, but he did not.
He's freaking out, man.
That was a really great scene. The Richard, the dad is I feel like he's just he definitely states it, but he's tired of it. He doesn't want to do this
Yeah,
anymore.
he said it. He's like, maybe I'm too old for this. Maybe I'm too tired. Maybe I'm losing my shit. Maybe I'm fucking wanting to get caught. I
Kill
don't think
me.
he says it.
That's what I'm hearing.
Just drink my blood, stupid. I'm done. I'm done with this. I don't want to kill people anymore. I don't want to be your slave. Amy kept walking in and out while I was watching this movie, and I had to explain who this guy was, and he was like, he's like a slave boy. Yeah, that's it. He's her slave boy. But yeah, I mean, I feel like they didn't stay true to what the movie was supposed to be, and like you said, tried to make it more of a horror as opposed to like exploring the romance and all that stuff.
Mm.
And I don't think they did it very successfully.
No.
Did this movie do well? I don't.
It's not really. No.
And
20
then
20 million budget, and it made 24 million.
I made $4 million. It's not. It's more money than I'll ever make.
No, yeah, no. Damn.
I feel for that car scene you were talking about, where he should have just fucking bailed. Like, what was he doing? Like, why even try that?
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted to get caught.
I guess that would have been like that would have been just as frightening as just like having like a grown ass man running out and it's like fuck this.
Oh my god! Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have chased him. Like I would have let that guy run away.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, I just survived.
Yeah, oh my god! Oh my god! Trash bag man.
Trash bag man. No.
Oh, why'd you leave me?
But instead, what was his thinking? Like, how was he going to plan that out? He's like, okay, they're going to drop off this kid, and hopefully he doesn't look back as he grabs his
Ever.
bag.
Yeah, what the fuck? He only gets noticed because of the shoes.
Yeah. He had
Which
fucking
I
clown
thought was
shoes.
dumb.
That's
They did look like clown shoes. For some reason, they were huge. And just like the whole top part of the shoe was like large and circular.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
And they were like bright red. All right, they were brown, but still looked red. Let's see.
So his victims can hear him stomping.
Wah, wah. Nah, I got nothing for this movie. I don't know. There wasn't a lot of highlights for me, really. The same hospital scene where she burst into flames. I did like that she was just sucking the blood out of her own veins because that was all new blood to her, right?
Yeah.
So I liked that part of it.
That was cool, but I didn't like that the nurse didn't like pay any attention to it. Like there's like this sucking, like just like I'm gonna. Oh, it's fucking dark in here.
Let me open up the blinds.
Oh shit, you're on fire. Let me touch you.
Oh my god, let me burn myself. Also, like I don't know. I guess I don't know how vampires work. Would the fire have gone away if she was covered, like not in the sun anymore?
I guess. Yeah. And then they would just heal, right? I don't know. Okay.
I would assume so.
I guess that's how
'Cause, like-
vampires work.
Or maybe I don't know. Who knows? Fuck it. Whatever. Unsolved mysteries. What else did we say we were talking about? Mike, edit this out.
I guess we could just talk about the pool.
The pool scene.
Okay. Tell me why
okay,
you like
so-
this one more.
This pool scene, for me, it showed a little more tenseness on the kids' parts when they're in Jimmy, whatever the older kid was like holding him down. Like, all right, man, fucking stop, like, shut up. And then when he gets out of the pool, I think that's really what the difference maker is for me. When he's because I've felt that feeling many times before because I have older brothers and they throw me around in the fucking pool. I was also on the swim team and we had to fucking bring up a rubber brick from the deep
Yeah, that's actually what all caused me to jail. It's a fucking rubber ass brick.
God, that was tough. I actually like doing that, but that was scary. Yeah, there's no way in hell that I could have come up out of the water with no breath, just fucking stone faced. Like,
but we, oh no, it's
but
like
again, I'm not a serial killer, so I don't know.
It's cranked. It's just like cranked up to 11. Like the sequence. What makes the first one so great is just like it's just quiet and you're trying to piece together what's happening. So Oscar has his eyes closed. We're in Oscar's perspective, so it's just like the underwater sound, and you see feet flying across, arm flying in front of him, and then he comes up and like she's like the savior, and she's like hey, like it's just this tranquilness to it, and it's just really, I don't know, I thought just really well done. The American remake, it's fucking chaos. He's freaking out because like he sees like the head and you hear like a bunch of screaming. They're like, ah! I don't know, it's
how does that get explained? I mean, not by like these kids, but like in the fucking city. How do you explain this as a county, like for the cops and stuff? Like, oh, children mutilated at a pool. Like,
orgy gone wrong. I don't know.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God, 12-year-old.
I don't know.
Oh, God. Vampire orgy. I don't know. I felt like it was more realistic as to what would happen for this part. I guess it's not realistic because it's a vampire anyway, but I do feel like this, if that situation were to happen, the American version is more realistic than the Swedish version, whereas because there was no reaction. Like, if your fucking sidekick gets dragged across the pool by someone flying, you are not going to continue to hold this kid underwater while you see him flying away. I don't know. That
he's also stunned, and he's just, I don't know.
Oh my God, drown, child! Oh my God,
just die already so I can leave. He's dedicated to his craft, David. That's what it is.
He's just yelling, "Shut up!" the whole time. Shut up, vampire! I'm trying to drown this kid. God. Well, maybe he's just like, oh well, I'm gonna die. I might as well make a kill before I die.
Damn.
I'm not going out alone.
Is it Johnny? Johnny's the true hero. He's
dedicated.
What do you think of the cop that they added in?
I didn't think that was a valuable addition.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't.
I don't think it added anything.
Add anything
at all. I mean, I get it.
Right?
There's
I thought
stuff that would have been.
It's like
investigated,
giving us a hero to root for. Like, oh, he's the cop. He's gonna track him down and do shit. But he's like, nah, he's fucking dead.
No, I mean, they didn't even give him enough dialogue or like there was no investigation in his part. He just fucking showed up at places after it happened, like, and then he gets murdered. What? How would he have heard that wood on the other side of it? There's no way. There's no way.
The creaking? Yeah, I don't know.
And then, like, you're a terrible police officer.
He just kicks in the door. Oh, someone's creaking back there.
Three tries to break open the door. And then he reads the note that says, I'm in the bathroom. And he goes to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, I'm going to write a note while I'm running away, even though I was standing in front of the door just a second ago. Oh, God. This guy could have died much earlier. I'm going to go ahead and say the first movie was the better movie.
Yeah.
Good job, Sweden.
Good job.
God damn it, United States. Wrong again.
Did you? I don't know. Did it had to be remade? Like, did you think this movie had like a purpose?
Knowing Americans, I think it would not have had such an audience if it didn't have an American remake. You know what I mean? Like, most America would never have seen this movie if it was not in English. That's what I think. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like that's probably why it was remade, and it's like it's kind of similar to the original,
Very similar.
Yeah.
Just with the American panache.
But I definitely didn't think it needed to be.
No, not a worthy movie. They could have done it better. I don't know. Maybe I need to read the book.
It sounds pretty intense. I don't know if I want to. Pedophiles.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, you're right. I don't want to read about pedophiles. But it's a vampire. Is it really pedophilia at that point? I mean, I guess it's necropedophilia.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Terms. Crazy bastards. Who writes about this stuff?
Was it Stephanie Mayer?
Weird. What do you think about vampires? I mean, like this, like mythical stuff in general. Like, I feel like this stuff had to come from somewhere. Like, there's no way someone just made this up and it fucking ran, like, millennia. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It had to be rooted in something.
Well,
maybe Jesus was a vampire.
Jesus was a vampire. He sharpened his teeth one day.
He came back to life, man.
He was really like gothic and emo for a day.
I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense of things here. Like, how do you like werewolves and vampires and stuff? Like, there's been stories about them for a long time, and like, there's no way this just fucking came out of nowhere.
Was it Dracula? Like, wasn't it based off of someone?
Was it?
Yeah, like Vlad the Impaler.
Oh yeah. But he wasn't the first vampire.
I thought he was. Oh no.
I don't know. I gotta do my mythical research.
But no, it's definitely Jesus now. He's
Jesus, the original vampire. Came back 3 days later after his infection into
exactly. That's when he became the vampire. The Romans were trying to stab him in the chest to stake him, but they missed.
But yeah, they didn't try garlic.
Mike's gonna have to cut all this out.
No, he's gonna do this for sure. No, but I did want this. I wanted more of that in both the movies. I wanted, like, if they're gonna go like full on, like, you have to invite me in because I don't know why, but that's what happens. Like, you have to do every single vampiric, like, stereotype.
Yeah. But some of them are ridiculous. Like, garlic, like, what's she gonna do? He's gonna, like, hand her a garlic bread. She's gonna be like, no!
Her fucking jaw fall off. I don't know.
What is
Maybe
that, garlic? No.
Like, just have, like, a string of garlic hanging up in the kitchen that she, like, avoids, or, like, starts sneezing or something.
I guess that could have been the scene. Instead of chocolate, he just fucking hands her a clove of garlic, and she starts
Not
puking.
a clove, but just some garlic bread. Like, I don't know, some garlic butter or something. Is that a thing in 1983? Garlic butter?
I don't know if I love it now.
Thank you, 2019, for garlic butter. What else is it? So you have garlic, you have the wooden stakes. I guess you can use a silver stake, right?
Yeah.
Depending on what mythical prowess you follow. Whatever.
It's a werewolf vampire, yeah.
Get a werewolf in there. What else can we do here? Oh, I really wanted no reflection somewhere. I don't know why, but it would have been much more gratifying to me if I'd seen a reflection of not her.
Yeah, I guess.
Doesn't make sense at all. It's not scientifically explicable, but I would have loved it.
Would it be like Invisible Men though? Like, would we just see clothes but not her?
I think so. I think that's what it is.
Is it really?
I think that's what it would. No, I mean, in other like movies and cartoons and stuff, it's like nothing's there. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think it would have to be the floating clothes.
That would be.
Also, did you notice, like, Chloe Grace Moretz, like, when he had her take the dress, she picked, like, the weirdest fucking scary dress there was. Like, fucking cult running in the valley dress. Like, and then it's promptly covered in blood.
I also like that they cut out the sequence of the review of the genitalia, so Mike definitely missed this one. But it just leaves in him peeping on her, so it's just
oh, I'm a child. But they set that precedence in the beginning when he was a peeping Tom.
Oh yeah,
so,
I guess
we know that. We know he's a peeper. Should have named him Tom. What else was I gonna say? There was one other thing I wanted to mention, but I cannot recall. I guess we'll never know, guys.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. Fuck. No, I don't know. All right. I don't know. Anything else you want to talk before we wrap it?
Nah, I think that's it.
Oh, yeah. I remember. I think the pacing in this movie was a little bit better.
In the remake?
Yeah. I felt like it kept my attention more.
Yeah.
But definitely not a better movie. Don't watch this one, guys. Watch the original if you're going to watch anything. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Don't turn into a vampire. And learn Morse code just in case.
Watch out for Jesus.
Oh, God. Vampire Jesus.
Vampire Jesus.
If you see any vampire Jesuses for Halloween,
we trademarked that. Hey, we're trademarking it.
That's us. That's us. We made this. We created this. It's us. Pay us. All right, guys.
All right.
Later.
See ya.
Hey everybody, this is Mike. I wanted to kind of give you guys a quick kind of my opinion on these movies because I did watch these. I was very excited about talking about these two films. They've been on our list to cover for quite a while, and I'm really bummed that I didn't get to discuss this with Alex and Double D. I was very, very sick. I actually had to take several days off of work. I had to go and get a ton of prescriptions, and I had to go to urgent care. It was a whole thing, and I was not up to recording the episode. But I did watch the movies, and I kind of wanted to give you guys a quick kind of overview of what I thought about these films. I had seen them both before. I liked both of these films, and I'm just going to kind of go over a couple quick things. And I just thank you guys for listening. But one of the first things I kind of want to bring up is these movies are very, very similar. Really, the only real difference is the way they handled the father figure, Hakan and Thomas. They never actually say the name Thomas. Thomas was the name given in the prequel comic to the American/English speaking version, Let Me In, played by Richard Jenkins. But I felt his characterization was much more effective because we find out that he was a child when he met Abby and grew up with her and took care of her as an adult and deeply loved her. And I think there's a big difference between the Hakan characters kind of presented like an employee. Whether or not he was the pedophile like he is in the book, the source material, it's kind of unclear. But the Richard Jenkins version, when they both say this line in both versions, but they say something along the lines of please don't see that boy again tonight. And with Richard Jenkins' version, because this is the love of his life, Abby, I kind of feel like he's realizing what's going on is that he's being replaced. And there's almost this cycle to the story where there obviously was a person before Thomas. There was probably a person before that because they mentioned she's been around for over 200 years. So I feel that line is much more effective in the English-speaking version because there's kind of a sadness to it because he's realizing the love of his life no longer loves him the same way that he loves her. So I think that's deep and kind of sad and also kind of touching. The other thing that I kind of want to go over is it's very ambiguous in the Swedish film whether or not Ellie or Eli, depending how you look at it, is male or female. They do say multiple times, I am not a girl, but before I knew that there was a mutilation in the source material, I just always took it as I'm a vampire, I'm not a human kind of thing. So knowing the source material a little bit more kind of changes that, but I still think you can interpret that. Where obviously in the English-speaking version, Chloe Moretz is definitely a girl. There's no way around that. But what I think is kind of interesting, and might be the only thing that I like about Oscar, where I think he goes a little deeper than Owen in the English-speaking version, is when there's a point when Oscar says, hey, would you go steady with me? He wants Ellie or Eli to be his girlfriend. They say, I'm not a girl. And he kind of pauses for a second and goes, well, whatever you are, will you go steady with me? And I think that's interesting because his father is presented very heavily implied that his father is a homosexual. So clearly this doesn't bother him. Obviously he has kind of some sociopathic tendencies. So there's, a little bit of disconnect. But I think it's interesting that ultimately he doesn't care how this person presents, what they look like. He just feels a closeness to this person, wants to have a relationship. So I think that's really interesting. I think they're both creepy. I think Oscar definitely gets a little bit more joy out of what's going to happen because ultimately we know he's going to become a killer and he's going to have to help Ellie get victims. But when he hit the bully, he seemed to enjoy it a lot more. He had this kind of smile, and you can't interpret it as, he's finally standing up for himself, but I think he genuinely enjoyed hurting his bully. He does have a line where he says, like, I'm not a serial killer, but Ellie says, but you want to be and you will be, or something along those lines, where Owen in the newer one, I don't see that as much. I feel like he's being called a little girl throughout the film, and his parents are even more absentee, like you never actually see the father. I feel like he's just lonely and he feels weak and he doesn't know what to do. I definitely think he's going to go down that same path, although he does wear that weird like mask at the beginning, and he still does the thing where he's stabbing the tree and whatnot. But he has this moment where he takes Abby out on like this little date, and it seems sweeter, and it seems more like a coming of age story that I really liked. Other than that, they're very, very similar movies. The newer one kind of has that action scene with the chase. The serial killer mentality, I think, is a little bit more disturbing with Richard Jenkins. He has like that garbage bag mask, which I thought was very effective. But overall, I think they're both very, very great movies. The modern one kind of takes away that CGI cat scene where it kind of attacks the vampire woman that gets kind of turned. But overall, they're both very good movies. I think they're both watching. I definitely think the American one's probably a little easier to digest, and it's a little bit more accessible. And I know when this came out, people were a little concerned with it being directed by Matt Reeves, because originally they wanted the original director back, but he said he was too old to make the same movie twice. And Matt Reeves had only really done Cloverfield before, which I enjoyed. But after that, he went on to do the Planet of the Apes movies. Now he's doing that Batman movie, and I actually trust him to do a great job. So I'm a big fan of Matt Reeves. I really like this film, and overall, I think both versions are great to watch. Do you have to watch both? No, but you can't go wrong with either one. So check out these movies. I don't know where I'm going to put this in the episode, whether this is going to be before Double D and Alex talk, or if this is going to be at the end as like a stinger. But thanks for listening, and yeah, that's it. Thanks. Bye.